The Electric Maid is a small community music center in Tacoma Park run by these two guys who host musical events all through the year. It's pretty small, so there's not a ton of people you can fit in there, which means that when you're performing, you're really close to the audience is really close to you, and it's a really comfortable place to perform music. The Electric Maid itself as an institution is designed to kind of help local musicians perform and have a place to perform. And Tacoma Park is a very musician-friendly kind of area, so it's a cool place to kind of group together.
It's a non-governmental community third space. It's not so much, although we do shows, it's really intended as a gathering place.
Electric Maid really wants to cultivate like an atmosphere that's really encouraging for students to come out and try new things and test their limits in music.
The Electric Maid is kind of a cozier atmosphere, and it's like a much more inviting way to begin to sing as a musician and to just kind of be there with like your friends and then some people you don't know and begin to learn how to perform.
It's a place for people to get together and converse and interact with each other, but actual getting together and talking. We're trying to support community in the local area, and that's what we're all about.
You're close to musicians, like emotionally, because you tend to be their friends, but also just you're physically close to the musicians, and that's really cool and very different from performing in like a high school auditorium or like a big auditorium. And I think that gives you a much closer relationship with the musicians who are performing and allows you it's hearing music in a different way. And when you perform in big groups, they put you in big performance spaces, and that's really intimidating, and they invite 400 people to come watch you, and that's really intimidating. And the Electric Maid is a much better place for me to do things like perform music I wrote and to kind of experiment with music, because the stakes aren't as high. It's a good place to kind of explore music.
Basically, we're trying to keep going and pay our rent, stay here, and act as a community service for youth. People are sorting themselves into these groups, and we want to have a whole community.
I think the Electric Maid builds a sense of community by encouraging everyone in Tacoma Park and from around Tacoma Park to come out and support each other. And so it builds kind of a network between different performers and students and adults that support them too. So the Electric Maid, it's free, so it doesn't bring in money for the performers, and it's based only on donations. But it does allow performers to get more comfortable in performing.
I have been here nearly 20 years, and I'm as or more enthusiastic about this place than I've ever been. And, we would love to see it go on.
I try to reach out to student performers at Blair and other high schools and schedule them at the Electric Maid on shows that are typically on Friday nights. We try to have one every month, but sometimes it doesn't work out because of lack of interest. Another thing I do is I try to coordinate donations and fundraising and stuff. But that largely happens during the show itself in a big plastic jar.
If you want to help out, you can email me at either booking@electricmaid.org or more properly, volunteer@electricmaid.org. We meet every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and we're always looking for volunteers, and we'd love to have more people involved.
Is this real life or just pretend?